Hey everybody, and welcome back to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at a map called Cantabria Infinite. And this map is over at the mod hub, farmingsimulator.com mod hub in the beta section. And this is a heck of a production map, I will say. Here on the select map screen, we pretty much have kind of an overview of the production facilities on the map. As you can see, things that are oval, like this color, basically need pallets for production. Then we have grass, dry grass, and chaff to make silage. Saltwater produces water and salt, which then in turn makes cured hams, and salt is then used over here for food pallets. So I won't go into describing this whole thing. You can obviously look at this and derive what's going on. But like for example, wood chips, you can make a wood chip pallet. Wood and straw apparently make a plank pallet. Probably the straw is used as a fuel. That's probably what that's to imply. But at any rate, so the description of the map over at the farmingsimulator.com website says Cantabria Infinite multi-fruit map based on the area of Argoños, Cantabria, and I've looked that up, and that is an area in northern Spain. So this is basically a Spanish map. This mod is seasons compatible, has 20 buyable factories. So just like the map, drawing a map, just like Stop and Bach, this particular, it doesn't have necessarily buyable farms, but this map has buyable factories. Felling area, animals, choppedStraw, and the new mFactory script has apple and olive orchards, grapes, and saltwater. So I won't go into all the detail. The description just goes on and on and on about basically what each factory produces and requires. But let's go ahead and jump on in. We're gonna pick up our Jeep this time because this is a 4X map. At least I believe this is a 4X map. Let's pull up the log. This is some of the logs. So once it's done loading, we'll scroll back up. All right, it's done loading. So let's go ahead and scroll back up here. Look at all those factory scripts. All right, so here we are. So we've got additional crop types. The map loads up very quick with respect to the map itself, and all the scripts load fairly quick. There are a ton of scripts. And then we have our equipment. It's kind of hard to read with the light background there. Let's see if we can't get a darker background so we can see the script, the log, all these scripts. Just keeps going and on and going and going and going. All right. So let's take a look at the map itself. So here's the map. We've got nice, large, odd-sized fields. So if you like square or rectangular fields, this map is not for you. If you like what I call realistic fields, this map might bear some interest for you. We have our standard crop types on this map, including sugarcane, and we also have oat, spelt, millet, hops, triticale, and rye. And we start by owning fields 1, 5, and 14. There are 20 total of 35 fields, I believe. Looks like we have a total of 35 fields on the map. So we have four main sell points on the map that take all of our main crops, and then you can see all of the other industries and what they take. Two supermarkets down here seem to take a lot of our finished goods. We have a nice competitive market. And I did this video on hard mode, and that's why we have nothing in the various silos. And if you look at these prices on hard mode, we're getting a pretty good penny for things like beer, olive oil. I don't know what this is. Oh, I think this is liquor. There is a liquor factory. There's a wine factory. And This, I guess, is cured hams. Look at that. That's a really good price for cured hams. All right. We have a fairly short list of starting equipment given the scope of this map and all of the industries. And let's go ahead and take out a loan so we can buy up some animals. All right, maxed out our loan. It looks like we start out with no loan because we just took $300,000 loan and we have a $300,000 balance. So we have 3 animals on the map: cows, sheep, and pigs, and we start with none of the animals. And our silo has a capacity of 150,000 liters. Go ahead and roll the clock back. All right, let's take a look at our starting fleet. We start with 2 tractors, the Fendt Vario 300 and 700. It range in horsepower from 138 to 200 horsepower. We have the front loader arms and a bucket. We have the 1660 axle flow harvester with grain header, a small tipper, a small Brantner tipper, and then a slightly larger AgroLiner tipper. This pretty much starting standard Kuhn cultivator, plow, and Great Plains seeder. Set of weights, front mower, and a forage wagon, and then the power washer. That is your fleet, and there's nothing leased. Let's go ahead and lease up our Jeep. Let's pick this color. All right, so the store is shop. There's our Jeep. Let's hit reset and see what happens to it. Wow, that's interesting. The Jeep resets across from the shop this in this area right here. So let's go ahead and take a look around the farm itself. So right here we have a silo for silage. Walk up here a little closer. See, silage will pop up. It says chaff or grass is required. We'll dump that in here and we'll be able to get silage out of here. Now this is our main silo system, and this is pretty neat. So if we look at our F1 menu up here, see we have to open our unloading. Now let's take a listen to this. You may have heard the creaking there. We've got this nice wood texture, and it opens and closes in 2 different sets, slightly two different speeds. That is pretty cool. That's where you would dump. You'll get your crop out of there. And now what else is also interesting over here is these 2 farm tech screens. You look at your F1 menu, you see we have to hit L to power them on. Now I'm going to look at this one a little closer so that we can see what's going on, because it's pretty neat what happens. So you see the things switch, and then we kind of have this little booting screen, and there we go. So this is all in Spanish, I'm supposing. It will tell you what this holds. Maize, I'm sure that's corn. Soybeans, not really sure what the rest of that is. I'm sure it's wheat, barley, canola, corn, sunflowers, and soybeans. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And then we have over here, wheat, barley, canola, sunflowers, soybeans, corn. 6 more. So it's probably oats, rye, spelt, triticale, rye. What is it? Rye. Hops and millet. That's probably what those are. So I thought that was really cool. Let's hit power off. See those gauges down there? Oh, it's kind of odd. We have a reverse boot, but anyway. See the animation on those gauges? That's pretty cool. So here we have our chickens over here. Nice contained over here in the corner. Now it's odd that this farm pretty much is just this area. There's no house. There's no nothing over here. We have doors. You got our tractor and our mower and our forage wagon over here. There we are. And then we have this cool area. It's lower. And these. So when I first looked at this, I'm like, oh, okay, so we have seed and fertilizer. This must be like a seed fill point and fertilizer fill point. And then I got to these, and I'm like, what are these? These are pallets. Well, these are obviously dynamic pallets. So we start with 4 pallets, stacks of pallets. And then this one's empty. And then I saw the fertilizer kind of creeping through this wall. And I saw this bucket and arms here. That made me think that it's possible that those are heaps of a product. So let's go ahead and roll on in here and just check out and see what's going on, because this is indeed... Oh, I hit the wall there. Come on. See, I am picking up seed. This is seed. So we start with a heap of seed. I'm not really sure how much, but it's a heap. And we start with a heap of fertilizer. This isn't refillable. This is a finite resource, because you'll see the bucket. We'll pick it up. See the bucket's picking up the heap here. And we can lay the heap down. So there you go. So we start with a heap of fertilizer and seed. It's pretty cool. Then we've got our green weights and all of our equipment over here. And that's the main farm. That's it. Pretty simple. We do have animated gates here. You just walk up and left click. And there we go. So let's go ahead and jump down here to the shop. We'll run across the street to get to our gator, or not our gator, but our Jeep, and we'll continue the tour from there. So it's this way. Go on. All right. So now we're in town. We have traffic. We have pedestrians. And over here in the parking lot, we have our vehicle reset point. Kind of thought I had picked a yellow color then. And zoom on out of here. And what we're going to do is let's go ahead and drive up north and deal with that area. And then we'll come down here and deal with all of this giant factories and everything down here on this side. Kind of start slow. Alrighty then. Let's head on up past the shop. I have to say, when I was doing the first walkthrough of this map, I was really impressed with how it looked and everything. Let's see, do we have collisions on this edge? No, we don't. And it looks like we've got water, interesting enough, down here in the field. Kind of got a low area. It looks like we might have mud. We do have mud, and we got water kind of sitting down here in the field. So part of this field looks to be unusable, because it's got standing water. It's a pretty interesting detail. Let's go ahead and check out this fuel price while we're down here. So the mud is very easily identifiable, this map. So we have missions on this map, and this field is 2.86 hectares. So we might as well go here and just talk about this particular industry. Here. Let's see here. There's the entry point. Okay. Let's turn around. So you might say, well, this looks a lot like the biogas mod, placeable, and it is right next to the hay, straw, and grass sell point. But like I said, you buy your factories on this map. So let's go on over here and let's take a look at this. So when you run up here, you'll see that just like Stop and Bach, we have barriers here. Come up and we get a little information screen. It says you can make biodiesel from rape, sunflower, or soybeans. This also produces compost. And it says you need $50,000 to purchase this. Press R to pay. So you push R, you would enter 50,000 and you'd hit pay, and obviously you would get 50,000 off of your bank account. These barriers would then disappear and you would have access to factory. Once you come in here, you get this pop-up. Basically says the factory takes 500,000 liters of rape, sunflower, or soybeans, produces 5,000 liters of compost right here, and you get 5,000 liters of diesel fuel out of there. You have this information screen also that would show you what's going on when it's running. So that's what we're going to see at all the various factories is the buy screen. It's pretty interesting. So we got a very oh, I got mud. I don't have any grip on my tires. Alright. Take out the sign. Got a very steep hill here. Go ahead and climb this. Oh my gosh, we are seriously climbing a mountain here. So I'm coming up in here into the forestry area because we've got the sawmill is back here where we would sell our logs and sell our wood chips. But we also have way up here in the mountains. See it from here? Way up there at the top of the mountains is a winery. So as you can see, log sell point, everything is nicely labeled. Got your wood chip sell point back there. Let's go ahead and it's not the winery. Vineyard. This way. I haven't driven to the vineyard yet. Oh, okay, I can see it up there now. I just jumped around. So I jumped to the vineyard earlier, but I hadn't actually driven there. Let's go ahead and drive on up to the vineyard and check that out. The draw distance on the map seems to be awful short. Because if you look at basically how far away I am before the foliage actually populates, it's not very far away. At any rate, so when we get out of here, we can see the vineyard right here. Let's see. It cost me $55,000 to buy the vineyard, and we take manure and compost right here. Manure in one, compost in the other. Here's your manure, compost, drinking water over here, and we get grapes, and grapes come out over here. So you get your grapes, I guess right here. The version of this that I'm used to seeing, there's a little dude picks the grapes, but maybe it's been replaced on this one for this kind of loading area. Right. So now let's get up there to the north and check out that area, or those areas. mud on this hill coming down. You're going to be gotta be careful with the trailer grapes. I'm not really sure if I'm a big fan of the mud or not. I played on maps that have mud, and some of them I've disabled the mud, some I've left the mud enabled. Really depends on the degree of the mud. Now, this mud isn't super deep. It's not like you're going to get bogged down and stuck, but at the same time, if you really have a hard time navigating as a result of the mud, now look at this. Oh, dead end. I don't know if let's go up here. So kind of give you a good overview of the visuals of the map if I can get above these trees. Storage shed up here. Kind of neatly tucked away, but at any rate. Kind of see the map and the field layout and everything through the trees there. Off in the distance, that is the sea, beach. Don't really see a whole lot of the map from up here, but it does give you some general sense. Just can't take the fast way down. All right, go. We've done it. Let's go ahead and make our way up this way. Got kind of a marshland there. That's pretty cool. Oops. That sign has a collision. The other signs I've knocked over. At any rate. So, like I said, you make salt water, or you make salt out of salt water. And if we look here at F5, you'll see that there are triggers there in the water. Not so much over here because we got the map boundary curtain there. But when we get a little further over, you'll see that we do have triggers in the water. And you pull salt water out of the sea. And then we'll have a salt, not distillery, a desalination plant. That's it. It's a desalination plant where you take salt water and you get salt and regular water. So here we have a wine factory. So in the wine factory we make a wine. Obviously, we bring water and pallets and grapes to here. $85,000 will buy you up a wine factory. I can't. Oh, there we go. It did open. So the wine factory takes grapes, drinking water. So not salt water, regular water. Empty pallets, and we make wine crates, wine bottles, and grape juice. Okay. Over here we have one of the sell points on the map for palletized products. Let's take a look and see how this is called. This is called sale material, and sale material here, see, takes various products. It takes pallets and board wood, pallets of wood here. And across the way here we have our pigs. We have the typical Farm Sim 17 pig area. We have our unload, our buy point for our pigs. Got our feed trough, and we've got our water trough. And we can see we've got a fair bit of mud in here, real mud, as opposed to the terrain layer or foliage layer of pig mud. And this is where you would put the straw trigger. Got some silage bunkers over here for our pigs. See the triggers popping up. I assume that's if you want to play with the CCM mod. Corn cob mix mod. Then over here we have another sell point. This particular sell point is point of sale 1. Remember, point of sales will accept our crops. We have a small field. There's a gas station down there. Let's go over here and check out the water. As I mentioned, water triggers. Unlike the other location where we had boundary walls, the boundary walls are a little further out here at this beach, I believe. Maybe it was another beach I looked at. Boundary wall. It was another beach that I looked at. Alright, so let's spin on around here. We're at the end of the road. And make our way back around. Go ahead and go down south to the pig area, or the cow area, which is just across from field 15. That's the farm. That's our main farm there. Uh-oh. Get stuck. Oh, okay. Paying any attention. Alright, let's try this again. So let's go ahead and get on down the cow area. This time paying attention to the road and not staring up here at the hill at what is obviously our main farm up here on the hill. Another stuck this time on a street sign and a guardrail. Isn't that great? So we have guardrails, we might as well be paying just a little bit more attention as to where we're going. I don't see any guardrails there, so let's go ahead and that. Road up to the main farm. This bridge here. Leading up to gas station. So this is kind of the marshland area. This is where you're going to be pulling your saltwater out. Just trying to get over here, cheat a little bit, and get down here to the cow area. Thankfully we can drive under the water. Come on. Come on. Come on. Alright. We're just going to drive a little bit off-road country here just to get to the cow area to get us back on track. See, the nice fields are laid out. They all have hedges separating them, but the hedges are drive-throughable. So here we have the cow area now. Over here we have our water and our grass trough. Have the straw and the large silage trough of that I call it. And then over here in the corner, this is where you're going to buy your cows. Then we have our solid and liquid manure points. We have a little old silage bunker over. Oh, and the last thing, this is where you get your milk. So I am assuming pallets of milk will spawn here to then take and use either in further production or to sell. Pallets are going to look like this, or if they're going to look something different. Alright, so it's kind of odd that the grass area that the cows are in is that bluish color. Makes you think that that's water, but that is not. Let's get on up here. See that it's another pasture type area. We've got a that's an animated cow. It is not static. We've got a cow there. So it's like meadows or pastures are this bluish color. It's kind of interesting. Alright, so let's make our way over here to the animal buy point, and we'll just keep making our way around down south till we get to the liquor factory and point of sale number 2. Here we are. This is the animal. This is not the animal buy point. This is a industry, is it? This is the Castor Food Inc. Savapra or Savapo Agra mod. This is like the meat processing mod, but it does have the animal purchase trigger. I guess this is where you're going to buy your animals. Kind of an odd building to be buying animals at. That's clearly looks like it's more set up to be a meat processing plant, but at any rate, over here we are set up to buy agrama, sale agrama, buy. So they buy what appears to be seed, or this compost. No, that is compost. So they buy compost, and you also have seed and fertilizer fill points over here. All right. Continue to make our way down and around. Now, I did see a post on the FarmingSimulator.com forums that the mod author was working on a mod that you would use to basically wrap around an olive tree, and it would shake the olives out of the olive tree. That would be pretty cool because there are that could lead to things like nut harvesting because there are tree nuts that are harvested by shaking the trees. That's something pretty neat to look at. So down here we have point of sale 2, which again buys all of our main crops. And we have the liquor factory, which is right here. Buy the liquor factory for $70,000, and they take empty pallets, potatoes or apples, and hop pallets. Wait, there's more. Let's see. It says you can make liquors. Bring sugar pallets, empty pallets, potatoes and apples, and hop pallets, and you can get liquor. Now, speaking of pallets, let's just check. So you can buy pallets of hops at the store. Any odds? So the stop milk sale mod is built into the map. It is not placed, I don't think, but you'll be able to place it. This is where you bring your potatoes and maybe your hops. Maybe these are supposed to be apples. Pallets, and this appears to where you get your liquor pallets and chaff pallets. A lot of cool details and a lot of cool things on this map. So there you go. You got a little information screen scrolling there telling you what the map, what this particular factory will produce. All right. Let's go over here and check out these olive trees. It's the road. I was like, why is that road so windy? I don't remember that road being windy. That road. This is the road. Alright, so down here we have our olive trees. So you have to buy your olive tree field. So olive trees require water. And compost or manure. And $80,000 can buy yourself a grove of olive tree. So you come up here and you put a little bit of compost, 500 liters, and a little bit of water in each tree. Each tree is marked with a trigger. And you get 1,000 liters of olives for your efforts. This is a water storage resource, so you can put water in here, pull water out. Now, I do know from watching Delta Bravo talk about the Hoff-Bergman map that he's got a structure like this on Hoff-Bergman that when it rains, it collects water naturally. I don't know if that would happen with this particular structure or if that's just something built into Hoff-Bergman, but that's something to maybe take note of. Is that if it rains, you may have some free water show up in those storage locations. Alright, let's go over here and take a look at the next little detail. And on the map it calls this a seriously mud. Map calls this detail the dryer. This is to buy ham dry. Increase the value of your hams. You need salt, raw ham, and empty pallets. You can basically cure your meat. So you bring in salt, 10,000 liters of salt, 2,500 liters of pallets, and 2,500 liters of ham, and you get 2,500 liters of cured ham as a result. Salt, pallets, we have the uncured ham, and over here we have our cured ham. That is pretty neat. Here we have our sheep area. This is going to be where our wool pallets spawn. Interestingly, slurry pit there for the sheep. This seems to be mislabeled because this is where we buy our sheep, and obviously the other spot over there where we park the truck is where our wool pallets show up. Then we have our water trigger, again, are nicely marked, and our grass trough. It's the sheep. Let's go over here. Though this is the greenhouse area. Now I do know that there is currently, in the first release of this map, there is a little bit of a scripting bug that I saw posted on the forum. So with version 1.7.0.2, there is an issue with this greenhouses area. I don't think it's necessarily game changing or game breaking, but there is an area here that if we go to, we will get some Lua scripts that will pop up in the error log. Slow down our there. So here we can buy produce 6 types of vegetables. You need water, compost, and empty pallets, and we can basically $50,000 upfront cost to do this. Let's go ahead and buy this just as an example. 50,000, and presto, the barriers are now gone. Now we can traverse in here with our equipment. Okay, so here we have, this is where our pallets of produce are going to spawn, I assume. This is where we'll put our empty pallets, put our water, and then we have compost, and we have compost for this greenhouse. We have our water, and we have our empty pallets, strawberry pallets, and over it, raspberry pallets. Let's go ahead and pull up the log, and I'll show you what happens. I think it is right here. Jump over this wall. It's this one. Our log is scrolled up. There it is. See, we got a little bit of an issue on this particular pallet area. See down here the products, it says tomato pallets for this greenhouse, but when we walk over here, we don't get anything. There's a little bit of a scripting problem with that particular greenhouse. So that is going to be fixed. And in fact, I saw the mod author already stated that he had fixed the issue, and I assume that there will be another version of this map uploaded shortly. In fact, it may get uploaded before this map gets released, because I'm not going to be releasing this video right away. So also over here we have a soy milk factory in that you have to buy. So you bring soybeans, water, and diesel, and you produce milk, pig food, and liquid manure. out of this factory, and this factory only costs you $45,000. So as you can see, there's a ton of industry to do on the map. If you're a person that likes maps that are of industry nature, then this map might appeal to you. Let's go over here. Here's our Jeep. You don't like playing industry maps? Well, then the map might not be for you, but that's okay. There are maps for every style of gameplay. Let's go ahead and go over here and check out this food factory as it is labeled on the PDA. Alright. Here we have the food factory. It's really nice models. I really like the details on it. So the food factory can produce pallets of food. Here we need empty pallets, salt, milk, and cereals, and it's $80,000. So there you go for that one. We have another point of sale sell point over here, point of sale 3, I believe it is. Let's drive on up here. We've got one of these. I like this reskin of this building. This is that kind of the dump building for like a commodity dump building. You'll see on so many maps. But I like how the outside's been recolored on this map. Alright, so over here we have another fuel station. And we have a fountain for water. Let's go check out Pallet Factory. Here's our pallet factory for just $20,000. It's a pretty low cost. We can make pallets, and pretty much most of these industries require pallets, so this is going to be one of your first buys as far as an industry go. You need wood chips, plank pallets, or basically board pallets, and empty pallets is what you get. So you bring board wood on pallets and wood chips, and you get yourself pallets of pallets. So the next industry is olive oil. So oil factory. Produce oil pallets. You need empty pallets, gas, oil, and rape and sunflower. Go ahead and open this up. So sunflower or rape, empty pallets, and diesel will make oil pallets. And chaff, byproduct. So that is rather interesting, these factories. Alright. Let's see here. Let's try to, well, I guess we'll get all this industry up here. There's just so much going on. This one little area. Here we got a building being constructed. It's pretty cool. Here we are in town. Alright, so we have our dairy. Pretty straightforward building here. And we have to buy it. So we can buy our dairy for $85,000. We bring milk in empty pallets, and you can also sell milk directly here. So you get dairy pallets as your finished good, or you can just bring milk and sell it. Alright, this is the desalination plant. Alright, so we bring salt water that you collect from the sea, and you get drinking water and salt out of here. That is pretty. That is what I assume is salt water. Here is fresh drinking water, and here's your salt. Pile of salt. We'll get that industry on the return trip. Already been to this one. And we've been to that one. That's the animal buy point. Here we have our beer factory. So we bring diesel and empty pallets and hop pallets and grain, cereals, and we get beer pallets and chaff. It's pretty interesting. And obviously we can take and sell our beer, so we can finance the next endeavor. So here we have an empty lot, and this is going to be your cheapest purchase. You want to put down a different industry placeable, you can buy this up for $5,000. Here, again, plug in the value, and hit pay. And now we can use this area to put down any placeable that we want. Gate lifts up. So this is our wool sell point, supermarket, and we have, that's the inside the dairy. This is where we bring our pallets of wool. Over here, this is the supermarket buy point. We also appear to take our eggs. And this is where we bring our finished goods products for sale at the supermarket. Alright. Water icon up here. And we have another fountain somewhere around here. Oh, there it is. Right there by that little bench. Now we have what appears to be a little tractor icon. This is our repair in our customized bay. Where we can sell or customize our vehicles. Let's just continue down this way. Actually, let's go up here and we'll deal with this up here and loop around. This is warehouse, so I'm assuming that this is another dump station for our crops. Let's see here, what the hell? Turn that on. Yep. So this is a second crop silo, and that's identified here by having this little home icon. So there's a home icon. And here's the home icon. Covered up by that, but anyway, see the home icon. So here is where we produce our board pallets. So we produce planks here, our board pallets. All you need is straw as fuel and wood logs. Okay. Get pallets of wood or boards right here. This is where you'll bring your wood chips will come out of here. And this is where you put your straw. Now, typically you can put wood chips also in here. I don't know if that's been disabled and you have to bring straw. It doesn't really call out wood chips, but something I would try if I would play this map would be to try to put wood chips in there. Simply because your factory is going to be making wood chips. This is a pretty economical factory at $40,000. Again, it's going to be one of the factories you buy early on because you're going to need it to produce a lot of other finished goods. You're going to need the board pallets to make regular pallets, and lots of your finished goods are going to require your regular pallets. Let's go ahead and jump over here to the BGA. Now, we don't have to buy the BGA, we get that out front. To make use of that up front, free of charge. See, we got three large bunkers here, very wide but narrow bunkers. We have the Silo King here that is set up with a ramp. Come up here, drive up here. There isn't a whole lot of room here to be bringing a trailer up. So I'm assuming it's more geared toward bringing a wheel loader up here and turning and dumping in. Then your digestate tank is, I assume, right here. Let's hit F1. Digestate. Yep, there we get a digestate fill level. Alright, so across the way here, we have our slaughterhouse. So this is where we can buy our slaughterhouse. We bring fresh meat, or we make fresh meat and hams. And again, we take our hams over to the curing factory to get cured hams to just up the cost or up the profitability. That particular factory is fairly expensive at $100,000, but kind of gives you a clue of what kind of profits you could reap from the purchase of it. Already covered that one, didn't we? Covered that one. Yeah, we covered the oil because the door's open. So we need to go up here and get to the apple trees and the sugar factory, and that should about do it. This is taking quite a while. Here we have another placeable area we can buy for just $5,000. Here we have our apple orchard, where we bring potable water, compost, and manure to our apple trees, and we get 100 or 1,000 liters of apples out of each tree. Then we have a nice storage shed to go along with that. And where's our sugar factory? It's right across the way. We'll just walk over here to this. Of course, that has a collision because that's a buyable factory. They obviously don't want you getting over there unless you buy it. Here is the sugar mill. So the sugar mill, you bring milk in empty pallets. Doesn't make sense. This must be wrong. There we go. Now I had to use the right mouse button, even though the thing said to use the left mouse button. So inside here, this is correct. Set up 30%. So we bring sugar beets, empty pallets, and we get sugar pallets and forage out of this particular factory. And I just realized that did we bought our cows? We buy pigs? Did I forget to buy pigs? No, we bought pigs. I bought sheep, right? I hear the sheep. We bought sheep. So how do I still have $95,000? So I don't think we saw the compost, did we? I don't think we did see the compost. Let's go ahead and jump on over the compost. And while we're on our way over there, I'll go ahead and start closing the video out. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you liked the map. Let me know in your comments what you think about the map itself. What do you think about the buyable industries versus having all the industries accessible from the start? I think it's a pretty cool idea to basically require you to work your way up in the up the industry ladder, so to speak, by slowly buying the industries that you can afford, and hopefully you buy them in the right order to where you can then you know, buy your board pallet factory, and then after that you can buy your empty pallet factory, and after that you can buy some other factory that takes empty pallets. But until you have the empty pallet factory, it doesn't make any use to purchase other factories from the get-go. So you'll notice we didn't have to buy anything to come into the compost facility, because I think you can make compost out of the gate, which is great because it's a good way of making money. Except this particular compost facility does not take fuel. You bring drinking water and straw in here, not there. Drinking water and straw here, and you basically get then, I assume, a heap of compost will appear here that you'll need to come in and scoop out. So that is pretty neat. It's the completely different idea for compost as opposed to the Compost Master, which is basically diesel fuel and biodegradable matter. So I think I really like this map. I like the views. I like the aesthetics of the map. I like all of the buy points, or you have to buy the factories. You don't get all the factories up front. Let's go ahead and check out field 18. That's the big boy. Field 18 is 16.78 hectares, $1.4 million basically for that field. So there you have it. This is the, again, it's Cantabria Infinite. It's over at FarmingSimulator.com's mod hub. And let me know what you think, again, of this map in the comments. Until next time, guys, happy farming.